Okay, I'll skip the initial slides. The point is that whenever you start a project, you're roughly where manufacturing was 100 years ago or more. You know, people are having to invent the production line and all the manufacturing processes. We need to be further along than that. So Silka have come up with this idea of a cybernetic delivery method, cybernetic development method, which applies the disciplines of cybernetics to the use of AI to produce applications. And we married that up with a thing called the platform plane, which is the kind of off-the-shelf internal development platform. And we call the whole thing a cybernetic delivery platform. If you think about it, 90% of what you probably do as engineers isn't developing software. It's all the other stuff around it, which we've heard about from the other speakers earlier this evening. Here's the big picture. So that these are all the different things that go into making a product in software. You know, and what we want to do is actually free up the developers to do real development. So we think of that as a software factory. You can see a little picture of a factory in the top left-hand corner. What the CDP gives you is a pre-integrated workspace in which you can start being productive from the first 5 minutes of the project. Choose your tools and lift off. And it even contains an identity provider, so you can provision developers and other staff to work on the project without needing to involve your system IT. So as you can see, that it consists of a CLI, which is called console, and an online portal. Below that, you've got various APIs that are orchestrated, and then a rich palette of components and tools. How it can improve your business. You know, the platform plane, or the cybernetic delivery platform, as we've now rebranded it, contains a well-defined API strategy which enhances business agility and standardization, which facilitates the seamless integration with external systems and partners. And it unlocks new opportunities for innovation and collaboration. Platform engineering forms the solid foundation of your digital factory. You're constructing a robust platform that empowers your product teams to seamlessly implement DevOps practices and fosters agility, collaboration, and accelerated product development, which we've heard about from our other two speakers. So this is what it looks like. And in fact, we've sold it to a couple of customers. There are a number of different licensing models, and depending on your needs. Just this week, we've announced that we won the Swiss Life Companion App product, which will be delivered using the CDP and the cybernetic development method. So I think at this point, I'd like to switch over and have a go at the come out of there and give you a quick demo. So first of all, we're going to create a project. So this is what the delivery platform looks like. You can see it's got a number of tabs there, and down here, these are called workspaces, or well, just spaces for short. Currently, I'm only permissioned to access one space, which is called the playground. Up here, you can go straight to the GitLab. There's a lot of documentation. So you can read up in great detail as to how this works. But there's also an AI companion, which allows you to ask, how do I run a platform plain demo. And up it comes with some answers. But I'm just going to demonstrate it to you now. So besides the documentation, the main thing here is you've got repositories, registries, and the platform itself. So if we just go into the playground, you can see all these menu items here and more. This is where you go to the service catalog, and you can see there's a rich set of tools that we can... now, on this particular instance, because it's a playground, these are all free open source tools, but depending on the license that you go for, you can include things like Bitbucket, Jira, and so forth. Although actually there's a certain amount of planning and workflow in even the vanilla product. So if we go to registry, you can see that there's a number of registries here, each one for a different project. And that's where your images are stored. And lastly, we come to repositories. So what we're going to do in this demo is we're going to create a repository. You can either do a blank one, or you can create from a template. I'll use this simple platform plain template, and I'll call it DOX London. We can do the description in there and topics, like hello world. Don't need that. Project title is going to be Docs London again. And very important, the Kubernetes namespace, which is allocated to this project, has the name as well. Usually we name them the same. And now you can see that it's created a scaffold. Can everybody see that, by the way? Shall I make it a bit bigger? Can you see that? Okay. So it's created the project for us. And if we go in there, you can see already it's got a README and everything else. Now, there's a branch here called scaffold, and that contains a bunch of instructions as to how you complete the project. When you've completed this, you've got a code base that you can start to expand from. So the first thing to do is to merge the scaffold into the main branch. I'll assign myself as reviewer. I'll say squash commits, create the merge request. There it is. If we just have a look at the changes, this shows you how this skeleton project is built. So we've got some Kubernetes files which specify the deployment, how you access it. There's a simple home page, index.html, and there's a GitLab CI which explains how to run the pipeline to build this and deploy it. There's a Docker file for the container that's going to run the application, the README that you saw before, and an application YAML which defines the composition of that application. So if we go back to the overview and merge this, there it is. And you can see that here we can there's a download. I think we need to go back to the main code base to get the download. Hang on. Oh, there we go. So we can obtain that. So if I now go to the terminal again, I'm going to git clone this. There it is. So we're now in the project, and because we'd already merged that scaffold, we're on the main branch and it's all there. So now I can log into the console. That is one of these sort of turn aside ones. So now it's logged in. And I can now set up the cluster for this space called Playground. The next thing is to create the namespace. And then apply the application YAML to actually create that. And now we can open the Argo CD control panel for that project. And as you can see, it's out of sync. So we need to synchronize it. This is purely Argo CD, which is part of the toolset. And if I click synchronize, you can see that it's now deploying a lot of stuff into the cluster. There. And we've got our 2 pods running. And hopefully, if I open the application, you can see that it's been deployed and it's running. We can probably see in here, there's a control panel. So there's no alerts or incidents at the moment, which is nice. And I've forgotten how to find my control panel. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry, I think it's in here. Oh, we can see the deployment pipelines. So there's the build that occurred when I ran the merge. All happens automatically. So in case you're wondering, this is all running currently on Azure. We're going to have it available on the other cloud providers as well. And for a given deployment of the, for a platform with one or more spaces in it, you need your own tenant in Azure or the equivalent thing in AWS or Google. We can provide it for you, and in which case you can license it as kind of a joint use of a floating platform plane, or you can build your own. We can customize it for you. And the great thing is you're not locked into any vendor. Once you decided you've finished with the cybernetic delivery platform, you can take it away, but everything else carries on as before.